Hello, my dear ones. It certainly is a pleasure to always spend time with you. And it's just been about a week or two before I've been able to... Oh, looky there!
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I just want to tell you, go have a good weekend.
Go have a good...
And stay warm. It was 32 degrees this morning.
Well, I'm in a semi-morning state because my bananas went down and a couple plants. I'm sitting there praying over my mangoes.
Oh, you mean morning?
Morning,
not
like
morning,
no,
like
morning,
in the morning.
like morning, like. Is this morning? I don't know.
Anyway, much love.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you. Hello, dear ones. Kind of got a little new hole to speak to you out of, so to speak, but. Jennifer's in my office. They're building me a new office over here, and so we're going to have some nicer things for videos here in my new office and stuff. But I sure miss talking to you guys. I know there's so many of you are doing so many cool things. I just talked to someone on the Skype there with Jennifer, and he's a fruitarian already, living in Connecticut. He's taken right off. He's got Professor Otima's books. He's got the Arnold books. And when you read them and you start to realize a sense of truth echoing, now we can back that up with tens of thousands of testimonials of people have taken themselves out of hellville to wellville. And it's funny, it's simple, and you're just reversing how you're creating your problems. And that's important for you to understand. I was showing you that cancer book that lady wrote. She had breast cancer, has no more. And she's titled it, you know, How I Created My Cancer and How I got rid of it. And that's important to understand. You know, so I want to go over some questions. I know there's so many here. Then we're going to do some roundtables between the girls and me. So help out maybe me even more answering these questions for you and maybe get caught up a little more. I want to address this one. This is from Arnold Layne. It says, F off Robert. Well, did you mean that literally, Arnold? Because, you know, I enjoy that sort of thing. But you know, there are some of you that are just not going to be happy with the things that we do. You know, truth is a hard nut to crack sometimes, a hard egg to chew. Sometimes we're so steeped in our preconditioning of our societies, the planet we're on, those sort of things. The mind is a very conditioned instrument. And so we have a tendency to retaliate when truth comes into us. And we just, you know, don't know how to deal with that. Inside each of us, the consciousness that we are understands truth totally. And so, good day for you, Arnold. You know, have a good one. Now, this one is from Todd. And thanks for answering my question. Since I first submitted my question, I've been watching and learning more of what you teach. Interesting stuff, and appreciate your love and sharing this knowledge. Well, thank you, Todd. Here are my eyes for your analysis. It wasn't easy getting a clear picture, and I hope this will suffice. If not, any tips on left and right eye? Okay. They ran this off for me. And it's really a bit small. So if you get up closer, 45-degree angle with a flashlight so you can get that light blowing across that iris will give me a little 3D look at this. But you notice how you have, I want to show you the eyes, everybody. Here's his right and his left eye, and I don't know how well. He's got the camera back there pretty far this time. But can you see those eyes? Those we would call hazel eyes, correct? Well, there is no hazel eyes. These are blue eyes that look green to me. But what's right around the pupil, and that's what's important for you, Todd, because this is brown to orange. And a little closer, we could tell whether it was orange or actually brown. Brown is a chronic bowel. All right, so chronic bowel's not good. You know, that's just GI tract, and then you got the liver and the pancreas and all these other tissues can get affected when the bowel goes down. Now, it looks a little orange to me too, and if it's orange, then it's sulfur, and then you're dealing with the sulfurs, the bloaty, gassy stuff and stuff. But you can see from here, there's a rim around that bowel wall here. I would show you, but I just don't have the camera up close here for you. But it's enough to say that's a malabsorption ring. And that means that within that bowel wall, your lymph system is impacted or stagnant, however you want to look at that. Now, what that means to you could be irritable bowel syndromes, you know, the IBSs, the Crohn's, things like that, but it's also going to be gassy, bloating. But one thing for sure, it's malabsorption, and you got to remember that lipids are absorbed through the lymphatic system. It's a lipid-based system, so it really deals with acids, which is where your inflammation is. Remember, inflammation is just a product of proteins or acidosis. You know, that's the initiating response to inflammation. Inflammation is a natural immune response to what? Why would you have inflammation in the body? What's the body trying to attack? What's the body trying to get rid of? What's irritating or affecting it negatively? Well, there's only two sides of chemistry, and remember, everything is chemistry, so take your pick. Pretty easy, don't you think? Don't have to go to 10 years to school to do that one. So acids, no question about that. Now I see some lymph nodes swelling, but you've got some pretty good genes, man. What it looks like to me, but they're not near close enough for me to see any tissue weaknesses and stuff, but it really looks, yeah, I could use them a lot clearer, that's for sure. The left kidney is just really full of lymph. So you're going to have a lot of inflammation and weakness in the left kidney. That's either a groin on that left side or hip. Too hard for me to tell right now. You've got a lot of lymph going into that right leg, right groin, and right kidney syndrome. Hi, girls. So you're just not filtering. You can tell you're not filtering. Your sinuses need to be drained. You got more going up in the head than you do down below. And that's kind of a little showing you that the lymph system's backed up in the bowel wall there, so I hope that helps you. You want to get in there and clean that bowel wall. Get on the GI broom and get on the stomach and bowel formula or whatever, get on the raw to get that cleaned up there, get that lymph moving so you can absorb better. And you'll be one of those again, like Ian, that got thin, but look at him now. I mean, this is the thing. You can't get upset because you have to go through a process to get well. And that's what's important. This is a process to get well. It sounds like this room is echoing, but there's nothing really in it right now. This is Chris's new office. Now this is pretty gnarly. What's this? Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Hi, Dr. Morse. Thank you, my friend. Listen, what's going on with your mouth here? Look at this, guys. I mean, I've seen this before, but it's like, man, you can actually turn black in there, and it's like nasty. No. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if you have mercury, lead, or any type of toxicity like that. Your teeth are yellowed pretty good, but that darkness, I don't like that darkness at all. And you got a lot of lymph coming on that tongue, so you can tell that your GI tract is, and your mouth is just an extension of your GI tract. So let me see, I'm having a difficult time feeling physically and emotionally balanced, fully raw, because of the availability of fruit. Yeah, you know what, I'm with all of you on that. I'm just one of you guys. And I'm with you on that. Sad, sad thing, you know. And I'm kind of in a state of mourning. We'll see. You know, it was 32 degrees here. My water froze in a couple of my hoses, but the mangoes are looking good so far. And I just put in another Valencia mango. And these Valencia mangoes, you've seen them before on this videos. These are huge, and they're prized mangoes. Jensen used to fly in here to get these mangoes, and they're Pine Island mangoes, and just incredible. Pine Island is right off of Fort Myers. And you've got lychee, jacks, you got all kinds of stuff. For us in the subtropics, I think Pine Island is the closest to tropical availability of fruit that we have. And that's just not that far away from me. And unfortunately, I'm in the place that gets frozen all the time. At least once a year. Once a year, God just had to bring that cold right down. Yep. Availability, only bananas, apples, citrus, and frozen berries. I know it's sad stuff, so you do the best you can. You know, you can only do the best you can. Nobody's over anybody with a club. The sad thing, it's hard when someone's suffering real bad and needs to get well. If you're one of those people that are really seriously battling cancers and things like this, now I'm going to use that word only because it means high acidosis and damaging your tissues, then you might want to take a little jaunt down to Costa Rica or somewhere and enjoy it. The healing centers are being built down there. We got a lot of great friends in Costa Rica that are working with this, and I can just tell you that Now the islands are where the truth of eating is for the Homo sapien. So I'm hoping that the islands will become a good source and hopefully increase revenues and stuff. If we just learn we don't have to fight bacteria, we don't have to kill our foods, you know, to protect ourselves. We have to clean our sewer systems out to protect ourselves. You know, we like to push everything off on everybody else. And the problem couldn't be with Arnold. Now, plus my teeth are so demineralized, see, I see the photo, that I can't eat anything without blending or drinking it. Well, here's the thing. You might, I don't know where your lymph system is, Joseph, but I'll tell you this, you might have to do some green drinks here to pull that up. Address your parathyroid gland. Now, this shows extreme acidosis in the mouth and maybe even some metal toxicity here. But you really need to restore these tissues back to a state of vibrancy, and you don't have a state of vibrancy here. Your teeth are demineralized. And so what that's saying to you, you got extremely acid mouth. And that's just what that, you're showing that up in the tissue of the palate and stuff too, and down below the tongue. Extremely acidic, getting dark on you. So you've got some, my guess is you've got a pretty toxic GI tract. Pick your eyes and check your eyes out and see what's going on with that. But you might want to hit that parathyroid gland with a high calcium formula, not calcium as an isolate, but like a superfood blend, like our #2, extremely high in calcium, or a Bones formula or something like that. Something where you can get the availability of a higher level of calcium. Do some green drinks. Definitely use the parsley. I don't know if dandelion green is available anywhere, but parsley seem to be available all the time. I am taking superfood, and kelp supplement, smart thinker, smart thinking. Rinsing with smart thinking. You guys are getting this good. Rinsing with bicarbonate, that's just what you have to do. Try to keep this alkalizing, even though it's interstitial, meaning around the cells, and you're more topical in a sense. You've got to go internal to get to that. It's still helpful, in my opinion. It's still somewhat helpful. You're doing a good job. Brushing with coconut oil and bicarbonate, trying to incorporate greens, but everything is so painful to chew. You might have to juice them then and just let the absorption into the mouth take place. Hold it in your mouth and let your digestive enzymes in your mouth surround that fluid. Let some absorption of nutrients happen in the mouth. Mucosa might have to do some of that a little bit. Maybe some hill all tea. You could do some marshmallow slip around, but that shows extreme acidosis, my friend. And yeah, you got to back yourself out of this one. And you're doing some appropriate measures, though, here to do it. I wouldn't probably, I definitely keep a high fruit diet, but I have green juices and stuff in that with this until you can kind of get yourself more in a balanced state. I think you'd be wise to get a picture of your eyes to take a good look here just to see. I have been doing this for 3 months, 95% fruit, 5% greens, and I'm halfway through kidney and adrenal tonic, drinking hill. Yeah, you guys are getting this real well in there. I mean, this is just us sharing with all of ourselves the things and the tools we can use to help ourselves get back to well-bill. And you guys are really doing a great job and really getting it, because there's only a few tools. It's not like there's endless tools out there that we can use. You know, so we always have to grab whatever we can. I think we got the best tools because, you know, it's all God, so I don't know how we can embark on that. Drinking heel all tea here or there. Yeah, if you hold heel all tea in your mouth, now, you can do all this other stuff, but you might want to take a little time and hold a heel all tea in your mouth while you're watching TV or doing something like that, or bring it on the computer, because that'll start drawing. You got a little plantain, so you're going to get a little drawing action on those gums. And you got slippery elm and marshmallow to counter acidosis and to help heal the mucosa of the mouth, but you've got a little plantain to draw. And the thing about that, a little astringent in your mouth wouldn't hurt. You know, even though, you know, a lot of astringents are acidic, like lemons and stuff, still, that astringe will help you to move interstitially and all the other hydrating factors that you're doing. You know, the bicarbonate, the high electrolyte drinks and stuff like this. These are all good stuff. I mean, this is all you can do. And I slowly work that body back. Your body will respond. But when you see a mouth like this, I think you got yourself way into a corner here. But I would love to see a picture of your eyes there. Right now, I want to clean all my glands and bowels. Yeah, I got you. Can I do this on a raw till 4 if I'm only eating vegetables and not potatoes? What about sweet potatoes? Well, you know, in this cold weather, I'll be glad when this gets through, but in this cold weather, if you are in the cold, then I would say so sweet potatoes once in a while, I'll be okay with that. I'll do a sweet potato with a salad. If you have a hard time chewing that salad, then you could do a green drink and a sweet potato. And just, you know, since it is a starch, just kind of hold it in your mouth and, you know, just kind of digest it slowly that way. After 4, that'd be okay. You know, sometimes you have to walk with balance here and do what you can to get through these cold times. What about sweet potatoes? Exactly. Are there any vegetables to stay away from? Starchy. Yeah, you're right. Anything starchy, I think, is the order of the day. You know, I was raised on carrot juice thinking. I mean, this is, you know, Jensen woke up to this serious prostate cancer, and so he put himself on a 3-month, I think it was 3-month, carrot juice fast. Well, he filmed the whole thing. I've got all that in here to show you. And he filmed his journey and everything. He got down to I think he told me he got down to 80 pounds or something. But wrong food to do that with, because it didn't help him. And it was the wrong way to do that. I've done carrot juice fasting when I had little lumps and humps that I thought I needed to get rid of, not understanding the lymph system in the early 70s. Come on. And so fasting cured all that stuff, I thought. And so, but it's what you fast with. And of course, there was a Natural Hygienic Institute down here called the Shangri-La. It was one of Shelton's clinics down here in Bonita Springs at one time, so I would go there quite a bit. And we would fast until your tongue turned pink. You see how you got a little brown on your tongue, Joseph? That's a little more chronic of a bowel scenario, so I think you're going to find you have some pretty chronic bowels going on here. Are there any, let me say away. I would say this. A lot of people think cruciferouses are healthy for you. I just happen to be one of the guys that don't. I think they're abrasive. I think that's a good reason why we steam them down. They're sulfur, so anybody that has sulfur can have a reaction to them. I think the healthier ones are going to be more herbal based, like parsleys and cilantros and dandelion greens and things like this that have actually an action and a power to them, that not only have your high nutritional side of the greens, but they have an action to them. And that's kind of, if you're going to put something in the body, you want it to have kind of a favorable action to the things you want to get done in the body. And of course, we're fixated on kidneys, adrenals, lymphatic systems, but you got dandelion roots and stuff. But when you get into the roots and stuff, now you're into the hepatics and the pancreatics and, you know, the GI tract more. Let me see here. I feel like I might need some more time to transition because I jumped right into all fruit out of fear of the toxins inside of me. Well, go slower then. I have no problems with that, guys. You just understand that we have cases that can't go slow. We have cases that just, and I'm so used to those cases that I apologize with that. I'm so used to, you know, pulling people out of the hellville that I don't. But if you don't have anything like that, I would slow up a little bit. But your roof of your mouth and everything, I don't like how any of that looks. You know, and I would hit that parathyroid gland. I'd do at least 2 bottles of parathyroid with a superfood blend. A couple of people on my dad's side of our family had appendicitis, and that is my biggest fear, which led me to detox. Well, that does bring you straight back to the GI tract, doesn't it? So I think that's where you're going to find a lot of your problems there too. But remember, lymphatic, 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 and so you also want to hit that parathyroid. But on the bright side, I have been feeling some pains in that area, which I believe are the acids being pulled out, and that's real possible. P.S. Your spirituality talks are so inspiring. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I don't know how far to go with that side of it. You know, this is a health channel, but you know, when you start getting more energy and you start quieting the mind down, acids irritate even the mind. They irritate the brain, which then trips the mind to chatter. And all these things. The adrenals, of course, makes you feel emotionally weak and tired all the time and no energy and stuff like that. So when you start feeling good, feeling energy, and you're really getting that, your spirituality blossoms. Because the healthier you are, the quieter you are, the quieter the mind is. Look at the babies. You can compare babies that are raised from raw food parents compared to babies that are not. Look at the hyperactivity difference. just a big difference, and that's those that not diagnosed with hyperactivity, you know. But yeah, I'll be working on this again, my friend Joseph, and take off getting that mouth cleaned up. You're doing a good job. Really, really like your thinking on this too. Let me see here. This is Quiet Bear. I like that name. Oh, let me see if I'm supposed to read this. I guess I am. Oh, okay. I'll go back, watch the video again. Dr. Morse often gets excited and enthusiastic while he's talking, and he either talks faster or skips around a lot. I do sometimes do that because all these thoughts coming into me, images of what, when you're asking a question, I have all these things, and then that trips up memories of things. And I try to tell stories that relate to, you know, or experiences we've had to give you an insight to that, because I like stories too. And if one of you have a case, you know, for us healers, it's all about the cases. And how did you do that one? How'd you pull that one out of it? You know, that sort of thing. Because for us, the journey is to get you well and to allow you to work off your karma and to get this stuff done and to soar to higher heights of love and ecstasy and joy for yourself and everyone else. But it's I do tend to do that. And I do tend to get excited sometimes. I don't plan my talks ever. I quit doing that 40 years ago. I don't plan any talk. I just go and do, because you have to learn how to listen in the moment. Be in that eternal moment. Get out of that mind time frame thing, matter, energy, space, and time. Pull yourself into real consciousness, and your life will soar incredibly, because now you are seeing things you never saw before because your mind was chattering too much and took the dominance of your awareness into thought forms, into thinking patterns. And once you stop thinking, it's like you woke up. Thinking is like areas of energy racing from you, taking your energy and taking your attention into creation, which is here today and gone tomorrow stuff. Everything in creation is here one day and gone tomorrow. Nothing is real. It all is up and down, back and forward. It is not eternal. You are eternal. Let me see here. I wonder if you wouldn't mind passing this feedback on. Maybe Dr. Morse can play with slowing down when he gets more excited. I'll do that. I'll work with that for sure. Slow down, boy. But, you know, you get to feeling so good that it's hard to tell. Then this is my favorite subject, God and health. So you guys are talking my favorite subject. So it's like, I'm kind of a boring guy that way in a way. But I love vibrancy and energy and health and dynamicness. I love that. And I've got so much pouring through me, I don't know what to do with it all. Can you resubmit her questions for Robert, please? I wrote her back, but let me see here. Here we go. Jennifer Willette, okay. I can't pronounce your name. Raphae, R-A-P-H-A-E. My daughter, 44 years old, mother of 3. The last is 16 years old. Wow. Yeah, I know. I've been watching the news on some of those things. Was diagnosed with the above condition, and I have been researching online, and I observed that this is a part of the endocrine gland system. Will your endocrine gland balance help her? I don't see where you have what she has labeled, to be honest with you. Or do you recommend another one of your products that would be more effective, along with proper diet and exercise? Thank you for your response, ASAP. I'm currently located in Kingston, Jamaica with this daughter. Oh, wow. Well, let me see, guys. I don't see where, sweetheart, you put what she's suffering from. Oh, polycystic, here it is. Polycystic syndrome, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I take it. It can be anywhere, I guess. Polycystic can be anywhere, meaning many cysts, multiple cysts. So you didn't say ovarian, but generally it's ovarian, spots and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. You can have cysts in the kidneys, cysts in the ovaries, adrenal glands, everywhere. It's considered the way of tumors, so to speak. So the good question, when you want to go back to your kidneys again and the adrenal glands and filtration of the kidneys, because of the ladies and the men, we all get the females and the male areas of our bodies hit bad, the hips are hit bad, all that's close around those kidneys, and of course the lower back always gets hit. So yeah, I would get her kidneys filtering, get on those kidneys and adrenal glands, work on those two things and the lymphatic system and get those moving. Matter of fact, if you have the affordability, go on the 14-week protocol. You never believe the ride that is. I mean, that's a ride, you know, and that'll really clean them out. And take a look at that. Take a look at her other problems. This is an easy problem, but there's many other problems that can be more difficult. You want to look at the pituitary, make sure she has, her monthly cycles are on time. She doesn't have irregular cycles. A lot of things you'll look at in the health. The endocrine balance has nothing to do with these cysts. This is the lymph system in these tissues. I'll say this, though, that she could have a weakness in those ovaries, and that even makes cysts even pop more. So strengthen. The female formula would be the strengthener of the female tissues, and if she's irregular, there's some pituitary herbs in there. Outside of that, for the female side, then I would use the pituitary to strengthen that up. But for cysts, think of lymphatics when a fluid-based problem, because a cyst is a fluid-based problem. So it's just like tumors, it's a fluid-based problem, not a cell problem. It becomes a cell problem because the cell is protected with what? Phospholipids, HDL, cholesterol in its cell. So it can take, on the outside, acidosis is building from stagnant lymph. If interstitial fluid becomes stagnant, even blood flow, okay, you can get ischemia from this, where you get slight blood flow, but the lymph system is the one that gets real stagnant. Dealing in the acid side, of course, dehydration starts to set in as acids build up around your cells. Well, as all this mucus, and you'll see this in cancer cells, and I've talked about this before, we're going to put some nice stuff up on the site one of these days once we get ourselves balanced out here. And so we're going to show you all the mucus and the proteins that build up around these cancer cells. It's what kills the cells. But then you also have intra, meaning inside the cell, acidosis. And so that's the big kicky. On the outside, we can say inflammation. On the inside, we can say now you have true mutation of the cell and all its organs and glands, because cells are full of organs and glands themselves. So you just have to take a look at that and understand that this is a fluid-based problem right now, and you don't want it to become a cell problem. And so this is why you need to get that lymph filtering through those kidneys and get yourself sweating as well. But for the ovarian issue, if this is ovarian polycystic syndromes, but you want to get them or she'll lose the ovaries and all that implies, So yeah, she's 44 years old. So yeah, and it probably wouldn't hurt for her to take the Heal All tea and douche for a couple of weeks with it one time a night, just to clean the vaginal canal and maybe get some up in the cervix area and stuff like that. Just help do some cleaning in there and getting the doors open for fluid moving well. Fluids must always move or stagnation exists. When you're in a stagnation of a predominantly acidic fluid, now you have dehydration and agglomulation, or, oh, you guys fall here, my little babies? You like my little food? Hard to eat. You like my apple? Fresh off of my tree. Ah, don't you wish? My God. Yeah, I don't remember where I found that baby, but I'm always, when I go out shopping, I'm always looking for fruit. Edible or not. So I would, get up and get moving. She's in Jamaica, perfect. You got a ton of fruit down there. I would live on fruit, Jamaican fruit, and detox my body and get my system healthy. And just your diet alone will bring balance to the body once it detoxifies itself. But Jamaica and everything, you definitely would want to do the first kit That's a deworming kit. And then you also have the bowels to take care of. You got the endocrine glands, you got the liver, you got the kidneys. You see where I'm going? So the first kit, if you can ever rustle up enough to get the first kit, that's important. And after that, then you could kind of bring that down if you needed to, affordability speaking. And you could do the kidneys, you could do the adrenals. You want to look at the system that we all are having trouble with first. Because you clean that system, everything else comes clean and rebuilds. If you just focus on that lymphatic system. Now there are some tissues in some people that are genetically down. You've got to give them herbs for it to help bring them up faster, or your glandulars, either way. I hope that helps you. And hopefully you get this up here today for you. I don't know where Chris is today. Shopify notification. What is this? Contact from submission message. The lady the other day with the GI trouble, how can you just tell her to hit it hard without actually hospital diagnostic testing? Not confront, just very curious. Now, just to confront me. I'm not, I don't always come back and duke it. No, and this is the problem. Just what you said is the problem. We feel, and the medical profession has done this to us, we feel that if we don't have these diagnostic tests, if we don't have a medical diagnosis, or we don't have the AMA involved, it has to be charlatan. It has to be out there. What you don't understand is the AMA is the killers here. The AMA is the group that has the highest level of kill ratios, bar none, by far. We've been over this many times, and so you're saying you can come in here with anything. I've had in almost 50 years now, I've had everything I think, but I still see new cases coming in. I've never seen that before. I dress them all the same because it's just a matter of location, location, location. You can come in here with bowel knots, bowel cancers, bowel tumors. What are you going to do? You need a diagnosis of that, do you? I mean, if you get it, okay. We love diagnosis of that, so you can look at that. We can see the shape of your bowel in your eye. But if you have obstructions, we just had one lady that had to have surgery because she had to have 3 places in her GI tract removed and her colon removed because they were shut. She couldn't poop. She could go months and months. You can't do that. You can't do that. So there's a case where, yeah, we had to go there, but she already went to the AMA first with that. You don't need to go to the AMA at all for anything, unless you're in a car wreck and you lost an arm, or you need surgery, or you need first aid real quick, or you have a heart attack, you feel like that, yeah, you're going to go to the ER. Allopathic is emergency and surgery. Diagnosing, I mean, they're lost in diseases. They don't exist. So if you want to fight and treat diseases, then this isn't the channel for you, because you'll never get well, because that's what's been going on for, what, a couple of 100 years, and all we see is about, what, 1.5 million people killed each year at least now, if not 2 million worldwide. Worldwide, it could be all the way up to 10 million. So you're asking me about something here that is very dear to my heart, is that you guys have to start empowering yourselves and get away from this medical, I need to have a medical doctor tell me, because that's the problem. And it's fear-based, and the problem is it's taking the truth and it's taking the understanding and the control of your own life out of your hands. And now we have a modality that's extremely out of control, extremely out of control. And when you start setting up one modality, in America it violates antitrust laws. When you say there's only one health modality and it's not God-driven, that it's money-driven and pharmaceutical-driven, there's something wrong with your thinking. And it's just what we've accepted in our world. We've accepted, oh, we have to have a medical diagnosis. Do you really? I have people that have had the worst cases of cancer and everything else, never diagnosed, went through that, and cleaned them right out. You could tell they had the cancer cells. Big tumors everywhere, never diagnosed, went and cleaned them right out and got themselves well again. Why would you need to be diagnosed? Now, if you need to and you have some pain, you really want to see what's up, they got the nice equipment. I don't mind that. Get digital CAT scans, not so bad if you get digital. Your CAT scans, though, you have, what, 260 some rads or something like that? So, some of the diagnostic procedures are cancer causing. Is that what you want to put yourself at risk, especially if you have a lot of inflammation in there and just that radiation? Look at the mammograms, cancer causing. Not deniable at all. The only reason the government backed off on them was the ladies out there insisting that they need them. Those are the poor souls that didn't realize that's part of what causes cancers, mammograms. Radiation is a big problem. If you hadn't noticed, it's a big problem from computers. It's a big problem coming from your TV set. It's a big problem. Radiation is cell destructive. So real important to look at these things and to realize, heck yeah, you each can fix your body no matter at what level you're at. We have the most mutated beings we've seen. The body realigns itself, pulls himself back straight. You could have an allopath, they can't do any of that stuff. So why would you go to an allopath if you needed diagnosing, you felt like you had somebody to say, but if you want to diagnose about a disease, then I think you're off kilter. But if you want to have an area looked at to see if you have a tumor there or see what's up, absolutely. Get an ultrasound or something. I love ultrasounds. I looked at a lot of hearts and things before in my life. I have no problem with that. But don't think that you need an allopath to get yourself well, because that's the problem. These guys are not known for that. There are some good allopaths. Don't get me wrong. There's some good medical doctors out there. But those are the ones that are doing this. Those aren't the ones that are giving you the pharmaceuticals. These guys are dangerous. And you must protect yourselves. And if you think that is radical, good. Maybe it'll shake some things loose, because let me tell you, we've got some serious problems allopathically. When you force children, here's another call I got, forcing a 10-year-old to have chemo. But in all fairness, the MD oncologist told the husband that they have a 80% cure rate up to 10 years for a 10-year-old with high doses of chemo. And I told this gentleman, I don't, could be factual. My guess he's lying through his teeth. You don't see anything like that. You line up 100 children and you give them chemo. 80 of them don't keep living, guys. And take a look on, for those that watch TV and stuff, and you get the movie stars with the cancers and you see them all, line them up and how many are still living. I could name off about 20 of the newscasters and Patrick Swayze movie stars and stuff like that. They'll have the cancers, line them up. There's only one lady that's still alive in that whole bunch, and she ain't looking real good. That's not 80%. And if they're going to keep lying like this, then the FDA obviously is not going to do anything about it. The FDA just came out last year and said 6% after 5 years. Cancer Centers of America, 6% after 5 years. I mean, facts are facts, guys. And if you want to bet on 6% being not one of those, to take the chemo out of pure fear, not understanding what's causing tumors and how you're damaging your cells, then go for it. But the problem is that we have a lot of people do that, and then they realize they're at death's door. Medical doctors let them say, well, we did everything we could. Your cancer, you own it. They gave it to you, so you own it, and it's spread all through you. So now you're in trouble. And so then they come running over here. And we get this every day of my life. And all I can tell you is I feel so sad for these people, and that's why I'm doing these videos. If we don't wake up, it's just sad. And you all probably know a lot of people that have had that. And imagine you being there, trusted so much in these toxic chemicals, and you trusted so much, and then suddenly you say, you know what, I'm sorry, we've done everything we can. It's all through you now. We've literally burnt you, fried you up like a crisp. And go home and make your arrangements. See, I don't live in that world. That's why I am energetic. I don't live in that world. I live in the world where you make your own. You walk your own world. You walk your own path. You find your own truth. And there are simple truths of science that exist. In allopathy, it's against all science we know. If you look at allopathy, it's against chemistry, it's against physics. In every way. In every friggin' way. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not being down on you for writing this, because I do appreciate that, and I know you're not, I know you were sitting, but boy, we have to teach the world that, unless you need a scan, and you want to know whether you got a tumor here or a tumor there, detoxify. Get yourself cleaned out. You know, if you feel like you have a tumor or something, you want it looked at, by all means, of course, just take the least toxic procedure or diagnostic procedure you can. At least get the least toxic one. Protect yourselves when you do. Try to get digital CAT scans and stuff like that. Then you'll know where the problem is, and now you can know what you already know what you're going to do no matter what you find. Because there's only so much in the body. You have to understand, it isn't like, oh, there's all this stuff going on and we don't know anything. It's a mystery. The body isn't that big of a mystery, guys. You got a bunch of cells and two major fluids that take care of them. Nutrition in, sewage out. Right there. You need to use that. Okay. So it's that simple. So you have to realize that I'm not in the best of places here. But so you realize that you have to get in and clean out the human body no matter what, because you know that it's the acid side of chemistry that's causing all the inflammation. You know that when you have a swelling or a tumor form, that there is something, that a fluid is stagnant, because a tumor isn't a cell, a tumor is a pocket of fluid. So when you have a tumor growing or a cyst growing, that means there's a fluid that has become stagnant. Well, which fluid? You only got blood and lymph, take your pick. See where I'm going with all of this? So that's what I'm saying, is that that's a focus no matter what your diagnosis is, because there's only two systems in the body that's taking care of your cells. I mean, it's almost like some modalities out there think that there's this endless world of diseases and the bacteria on the planet are attacking you and, you know, all of this sort of thing. And this is the very thing that's got man into trouble. And it's got him scared to eat, scared to death. We radiate our foods to death. We destroy our very foods because we're afraid of bacteria. And yet there's nowhere you're going to go that there don't exist. You can even be the little boy in the bubble, and they'll find you. It's just, these are serious microbes, and they have a serious job to do. By God, not by man. And we can't change that no matter how many we kill and mutate. You know, we fight MRSA because of that very thinking. Let's kill the bacteria. Let's don't pay attention to what they're after. Let's not go after the sewage and the acids in the body. Let's go after those that are trying to help us get rid of them. That's the thinking when you think about allopathy. We need to make sure we get diagnosed from those people that have it all wrong. And when you have it all wrong, you can't cure anything, which is just what you see, and you hurt so many in attempting to do that. It's all wrong. The system is all wrong. You have to change it. Now you've got surgeries, you've got emergency medicine, not talking about those two. Remember that. All right, here's another one. This is Paul. This is for resubmission. Sorry, Paul. Thank you for resubmitting, Paul, because I'll tell you, I apologize dearly, guys. We're talking about doing some round tables and sharing these and getting these knocked out, but I'm here now. Message. Got off coffee, did grapes 2 days straight. On day 2, 3 p.m., experienced huge energy crash. Had to force myself to go out to buy more grapes in 10-degree weather. Went into Dunkin' Donuts. Went into Dunkin' Donuts to have enough energy to make it up to the fruit store. Forgive me, but I've done the same thing. I mean, I never had this kind of energy problem, though. I've always had fairly good adrenal glands, so I never had that real dip. But boy, I've seen it so many times. When you come off of the proteins in particular, and you'll see that these are stimulants big time. But when you come off the proteins, the adrenals go BAM! And you must have weak adrenals, because poor Paul, not laughing at you, it just means your adrenals crash, man. And get this. You're eating the highest energetic food on the planet and one of the highest nutritional foods on the planet. Why did you feel so tired? And that's because you came off of stimulants, and that's why it's so important to understand why we don't do coffee enemas, we don't do proteins, just from this viewpoint, and the stimulating effect of these, because stimulation equals innervation. Think about running real hard and then having to rest to catch up. And I've told you about that commercial. I think it's some commercial even for some kind of software or something like that. I don't know. When you got this guy taking off on this is obviously some kind of run up through the mountains and everything. This guy's taking off, he's running like crazy. This other guy's taking off, taking his time, he's getting himself balanced. So he comes up on this guy that took off running real hard. He's at the top of this crest and he's just trying to catch his breath. And the other guy just, oh, see ya, paced himself. So, it's this sort of thing, but, I can understand. This is funny. No offense. I love you, man. I think you need a lot of love for doing that, Paul. You're a good dude, man. Figured donut coffee better than Chinese food. Well, I'll say this. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I probably would have stopped and had a donut. Not from Dunkin'. Two noisy kids. Ended up buying more grapes and melons. What is going on physiologically? I tell you what, though, you deserve to have a big hug, man. I tell you what. It's just that your adrenals took up the stimulation effect of your previous diet, and when you pull off of that, even though you're on this high energy, it happens to almost everybody. It does, and they just crash and burn. I have them coming in sometimes and they say, I gotta go on meat. I have no energy whatsoever. Well, what's funny is protein doesn't give you energy. It's a stimulant. And of course, if you're eating meat protein, then you have your neurotransmitters in there, which is just like taking neurotransmitters. If you eat it in your food, you're taking it. It's like taking your hormones and steroids from cows and other animals as well. We just don't buy into that sort of thinking, but if you do, you do. But if you're been on meat for quite a while and you stop it, you're going to feel the energy kick. And then you realize your energy wasn't dynamic, your energy was stimulant. You want dynamic energy from the cell. And that's why getting that cell healthy is so important, because that energy is dynamic. And to have a nervous system that's dynamic, I mean, you can go way out there. I mean, really crazy. So I love you, Paul. You did good. 10-degree weather, huh? Oh! I mean, we hit 32 this morning. If I didn't hit 31, by the time I got up, it was 33. But everything, I mean, I had frozen hoses and stuff, so I knew that we had hit 32 at least, I think. Oh! Oh! I'm coming to Costa Rica, guys. Hang on. Not sure if this is a question or I won't read that. Message, Doc, you said popping a pimple 75% lymph fluid. Is this accurate? Scientifically, it is pus. Can we be exact? Yeah. Where's the pus come from? Blood or lymph? Case closed. Thank you. That's your lymph system, my friend. Pus, it's all lymph. Pus. What's pus? What's in pus? Proteins. Sorry, guys. Mucus. Where's that come from? What system? The lymph system. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. Scientific exact? Pus. I don't know if pus is scientific. But acids and sewage is, I guess, and proteins, that's scientific. But yeah, all this is full of that. You'll see your lymph is overburdened with proteins on some of these high protein consumers. And proteins is, you'll find, not the friend you thought it was. Amino acids, absolutely. Everything has amino acids. So your leaf is full of amino acids, baby. Absolutely. I prefer to get my amino acids. Oh, I wouldn't eat you, though. But if you had a fruit, maybe I would eat your fruit for you, and you'd be giving me some amino acids through my fruit, because amino acids are more for carriers. Yeah, we build muscle, but that's not all for muscle. Study your proteins. But, you know, but pimples, I don't know. I would say you can maybe have more than 75% lymph. They could have 90%, 95% lymph, maybe 5% blood. Depends where, how much interstitial is involvement, that sort of thing, where, you know, that sort of thing. But it's all lymph, man. There's only two systems in there. I mean, you got to understand, when you look at the body, all the spaces are filled except for cavities, you know, where you have your pipes and your nerve lines or wires feeding everything. But everything's pretty closed. So, you know, you only have, it's a closed system in there. You don't have open doors come in. And you don't have two or three, I mean, With the new lymphatic systems, we can say you have 2 or 3 lymphatic systems in there, but all tied to one. So you see where I'm coming from? There's no other system to blame. There's no other system there. You know, that's the point. If you look at the body and really understand the body and its simplicity, then you know what system you're involved in right off. If you clean the lymph system, guess what goes away? Pus, mucus, all that kind of stuff, and the pimples and boils and all these sort of things, tumors and cysts, and all those sort of things. Yep. Now, resubmission, this is Yumiko Jones. All right, I have a muddy brownish tint to the sclera of my eye, and it's worrying me for a while. A brownish tint in the sclera, huh? You think it's real thin, maybe connective tissue? You know what? I would probably do upper circ. I would definitely do the eye wash. Now you can do it topically, let's say in the morning, get you a little eye cup, and do it topically in the morning and in the evening. And I do 10 drops, little 10 drops of, in some skin temperature water. But you could also, we have a formula, it's not ours, but it's got some vitamins and minerals in it though, but it's got the eye tissue, it's got a lot of bilberry, but I have bilberry, of course, in my eye wash. All these things are good for that. Start promoting what? Since we're talking about the human body, what are we trying to promote? 2 fluids, blood and lymph. That's the only major 2 fluids. You got water in the body, but 2 major fluids. You have to understand all this. And so, yeah, you know, I would stimulate that lymph, the blood flow in the eye. And then you might get some mucus when you do that eye wash. You might get some mucus in the morning when you wake up, because it's going to start promoting blood and lymph flow in the eye. Good formulas to do that sort of thing. And then I would check my parathyroid out. Take a look at your fingernails and any varicose veins, spider veins. Do you have any depression, things like that? How thin is your skin? That sort of thing. I'd start working with more flavonoid-rich formulas, which is your or foods, which is, of course, you're going to be your fruits and your berries and your melons. Fruits and berries, particularly for the eyes, you can't beat them. Can't beat them. So, get a high diet of fruits and berries, your rich, darker berries, like your blueberries and your blackberries and your dark grapes, good for the eyes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And really start invigorating tissue. Check your all your other stuff here. I have no idea how it got that way. Now, it could be a chemical. You could just be seeing into the tissue that the white is fading away on you. You've gotten acidic and you're decaying your fluid. I mean, these are all possibilities. Do you have dry eyes? Things like that. I'm a vegetarian and eat pretty healthy, but I have had insomnia. Okay, now listen to this. This individual has had insomnia and anxiety for a while and drink coffee every morning. Well, there's your stimulant, see? Well, insomnia. So you do have some stuff going on up here. Insomnia is the pineal gland. So I would get the pineal glandular, and not melatonin, get the pineal glandular and do 1 or 2 hours BS before sleep. Now, insomnia means that you have probably an inflamed or a weakened pineal gland. What weakens the body? Does blood weaken the body? Well, if it's not flowing, of course you don't have long to worry about that one. Lymph is what weakens. Why? Because it takes care of the acid side of chemistry. The lymph doesn't actually weaken. Let me rephrase that by saying stagnation of the lymph system causes that. But that's the system, because you have to understand the side of acids and proteins. And we've been sold a lot of bill of goods, and look at what we're suffering with. I mean, you have to understand, and going back to this question about diagnostic procedures and things, which is, I love diagnostic procedures, don't get me wrong. I love cool equipment. I'm one of those geeks that loves cool equipment. But I don't like the toxicity effects of some of the equipment. You have to weigh, depending where your state is, of how much radiation you want to bring into you when you're doing diagnostic procedures. And if you feel like you're full of cancer, you want to weigh it real heavily, particularly on a CAT scan that's non-digital. You just have to weigh this problem, but you also have to weigh the radiation from your TV set and your computer, because these are huge amounts of radiation that people sit for hours and get. So there's a lot of serious stuff that we're all fighting. On a non-raw food diet, that radiation can just add to an incredible acidosis development in people. But if you're on a good raw diet, these are self-cleansing and very helpful. So you can have more available time in TV and computers and not worry as much. Now the anxiety, where are we at with that? Well, there's your adrenals. So how does the adrenals and the anxiety, the pineal, correlate lymphatically? Because your adrenals control the kidneys, which control the lymphatic system. Of course, this is the glymphatic system and the lymphatic system, remember, in the head there? So the cerebral spinal fluid can be affected too, and if the spine is off, that could affect the proper elimination out of the head, I would think. I mean, we're just learning about this new glymphatic system from the researchers that found it. And it is our opinion, quite aptly here, that there's many lymphatic systems not seen yet. And so it's all exciting because it could lead one day to truth for the allopathic community, and that would be a huge, huge deal for that. But it would be a sad day to look back on all the years of destruction of tissue for no reason. I don't know. I see a lot of info online about yellow sclera. See, but yellow sclera, you're looking at more at the liver and gallbladder problems, generally speaking, but not much on the brownish tint. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I would consider the brownish tint. I don't know. Maybe you're losing your whiteness to your fluid. Maybe you're, I don't know. Maybe it's just gotten so acidic in there. Do you, a question I would want, do you have dry eyes? Can you cry? Can you tear? Is your tear ducts blocked? Things like that. If you guys, any of you do have tear ducts like that, just get a strong onion and just hold it right here. But not much on the brownish tint. What causes that, and how I get my iris white back? Well, that's what I was saying. You got to invigorate fluids and tissues. And of course, that's going to be part of the lymph fluids. Of course, these are all lipid-based protective fluids. Could be you're having a hard time absorbing fatty acids too. There's a lot of correlations to that, probably from zones far away. But to tell you right off what a brown sclera would be, I'd like to see it. Maybe that would be helpful. And take a look at your iris and see what your iris looks like in terms of lymphatics and stuff like that. But that would be kind of my thought there. But eye washes and stuff like that, invigorate the body, get your lymph system moving, because you can tell right now your lymphatic system's backed up here. So you know that acids have to have some effect on that coloration because of the insomnia. You can just tell. And if you have sinus with that, which is probable, then you have all this impacting the eye there. And acids can change the nature of fluids in every way, shape, or form, and particularly in dehydration and color and consistency and flow. You know, that's the whole thing of blood clots and everything else. That's why people understood. They're worried about blood clots, but they put in meat in their blood and everything else, and it's like you're throwing acids into the blood, which has to be met, then the blood has to deal with that. Well, you have to deal with that quite quickly. So the blood then starts leaching calcium out of its walls to buffer the phosphorus and nitrogen that you're putting in. The blood has to keep its viscosity as close as possible, and the 7.4 does that. But in the movement of that pH, by the constant insult of acid ingestion of foods, can be, devastating. The loss of calcium throughout the body, through structure, so your bowels become herniated, prolapsed, ballooned, pocketed. You can just go on and on and on with that. See what I mean? Yeah, this is from Carl. Hi, Carl. Hi, Robert. Hi, Carl. Thank you for all your wonderful videos. Thank you, thank you. I'm happy you like them. Some might not, but I don't know. I kind of like them. Hopefully, they're good educational videos for you. Can help you in any way possible. If we can help each other, in the littlest of ways and in the biggest of ways. It's exciting because we, the humans it's just an incredible level of awareness that is lacking so much consciousness and awareness. It's almost like when you look at this planet from afar, it's like all these humans are screwing in unconsciousness, and some of the things they're doing to themselves unconsciously. So this is why it's so important that we also wake up a little bit to truth and honesty and integrity too. And I hope that this channel shows those things, because I have my feet firmly grounded, hopefully, in those things. I was recently told I have a stomach ulcer, seen even on an endoscopy. I have been going through stomach discomfort, major bloating, belching, and a white coating on my tongue that fits a description of a yeast candida overgrowth. About 2 years ago, I took a round of antibiotics for a misdiagnosed sinus infection. There's another reason why we do it ourselves. Is there anything I can take or test to see if I have gut dysbiosis or yeast overgrowth? Any insight would be helpful. Thanks. You don't even need to do that, Carl. Don't even waste your time or money thinking about that. And that's another thing. Don't waste your time and money on that. Detoxify yourself. It clears everything out. Everything. Detoxification is your golden key to Wellville. And that's in every single case. From mutation to spinal bifidus without vertebrae, all the way to your quads and paras. I mean, this is for everyone. Because it is the doorway of tissue regeneration and genetically remembering of cells. This is your doorway. And of course, to accomplish that, you're fixing why you lose that. Why cells mutate, why cells' memory has been degraded, and why we're where we are. So it's good stuff. I'll say this. I would get the stomach tea, Carl, or the Hill tea, and start sipping on it through the day. Move your diet to a raw food diet if you can. If you can't completely do the steamed vegetables, stay away from proteins, dairy products, and everything else. That white coating on your tongue just shows that you have a lot of mucus in your bowel wall, meaning you probably have some malabsorption. Now, this ulcer could be coming from in the wall, and that's kind of what this is alluding to. That's the most dangerous part of this. Ulcers can come from several sources, of course. If let's say that you had a pancreatic weakness, and there is some thought to that because you're belching. When you eat a particular food and you get gas and belching, that's incomplete digestion. That's either fermentation if it's vegetables and fruits, or your carbohydrates, or it's putrefaction when it's your proteins. And now, both of those, when it's fermentation, that's when fungus has to be involved. You have to have this, because if not, you get too acidic. I mean, way out there. So you have to have the interaction of the microbes to deal with the excess carbon that you're consuming if you're doing starches. The same thing with proteins and nitrogen. You have to have the bacterium there for those. We just don't get all that. And when you got a modality that sets themselves up as the modality, and that God's modalities that's existed since of time are alternative, there's something wrong with that picture. Because if you're a modality, you know God has a lot of it right. So in your modality, you would want to have God and its sciences involved. And that's where the illusion comes. We think that allopathy is nothing but science. You can have a whole science based on wrong theories. And that's what you've got. Based on wrong biochemical theories, they're touting alkalosis. That is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. When I get a chemist in here and we start bantering back and forth, I'm looking at him thinking, are you real? You were taught wrong. And you never thought outside of the box. So now you're working on what you were taught by someone who didn't know what they were teaching. I'm just saying. That's why each one of you take responsibility for your own awareness and your own truth. Because you can see it and experience it for yourself. We already see what that community is doing to the world. It's scary stuff. All right. You can get some fresh aloe vera and scrape off the leaves, all that mucousy stuff, and start drinking about 2 ounces through the day, off and on. Again, I would stay away from your acid fruits. I'd stay away from citruses and my lemons and stuff like that. I'd go down to the subacid where you have your grapes. I'd also go down to the sweet fruits. This is also a time where you can do some greens, even though, you know, probably green juices would be even better. But herbs are great to healing this. Now, remember this, there's two ways this can be. If you have a pancreatic weakness, you can take a pancreatic formula and help to inspire the pancreatic function. But generally when you have a weakness, it's the lymph system breaking these tissues down. So this goes back to some of the things you're saying. So you might have interstitial acidosis. This is the worst. This is the side of the cancers and everything else. This means your lymph system isn't filtering through your kidneys and it's backed up in the wall of the gut. And in your case, the stomach. Well, it just burns through. That ulceration is bad ulceration. You could have hydrochloric acid burn, which means your pancreas isn't giving you enough bicarbonate. You can tell that in your blood work off when you look at, and here's another good one for you. What time is it?
12:30.
Okay, I just have a few more minutes and then we'll go. You have your hydrochloric acid burn, which is a pancreatic problem, meaning you're not producing enough bicarbonate from the pancreas. That also explains the belching from that. Get your picture of your eyes. This is where you're going to see the pancreas. Could be gallbladder too. So you want to take a look at those. But most of these are interstitial burns. That means you have to go to the kidneys and the adrenal glands, get your kidneys filtering, and get this lymph system cleaned out. You can buffer and heal this ulcer on the outside by using a Bones formula full of comfrey or cyprium, marshmallow formulas. Our stomach and bowel formula #1 is nice and healing to the mucosa. All of them are healing to the mucosa. It's just when you get to #5, we have to give you a little more punch in there. But you could do those things, but you want to cool everything down. Remember, ulcer is an acid burn, so you want to heal that. And the only way to heal acids is to take a hotter acid. Now, if you believe what I just said, you just bought into allopathic thinking. When you have high acidosis, we're going to give you a hotter acid. That's not what you do. Whenever you have acidosis, you have to go to the other side of the chemistry, which is the neutralizer, to acids. Just like acid neutralizes alkalis, alkalis neutralizes acids. So you need to do that. Calcium, Tums, you know, those sort of things. But you want to take a look at this, because if it's an interstitial burn, this is not good. That means you're burning all through the inside of your intestinal, small and large intestine walls as well, and maybe even up the esophagus. See, this is a big deal. These are big deals. Our conversations here, this lymph system is a big friggin' deal. A lot of people are dying over it. So it is a big deal. And I take it extremely seriously. It's a big deal. When you have a major modality that doesn't understand this, that's scary as hell. And when you have so many deaths occurring from people that don't understand this, and they're trying to attack this, it becomes even more frightening. And then when they force you, got the judges to force your children to go this way and kill your children, it's even more frightening. You see where we're going here? We can't have that as a free society. Remember who created all this stuff. Everybody has to step back and give everyone else a right to live and express themselves as long as they don't hurt anyone else. That's called the Constitution of the United States for the United States of America, not the federal Constitution. Now, sure, you do have fungus and yeast, but remember, that's just part of this. You can do it. I'd get on the kits if you can afford to do the kits, at least down the road until you get that ulcer healed up. And take a look at your eye, because if this is interstitial acidosis, you want to pay close attention, Carl, because this could be lead you into something even worse. And I've had a lot of cases where it started out ulcerations, ended up with stomach cancers. And it's just a bigger burn. And this time it isn't just interstitial, it's cell burning. And nothing ever good comes out of that sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely. Cyprium, marshmallow, your aloe veras, or you can go buy a high-grade aloe vera juice. These sort of things. And we have all of that here, except your fresh aloe vera plants. You can go buy some. And I know a lot of people have a lot of aloe vera. I have tons of it. I love that plant. You know, start cooling everything down. You want to eat everything alkaline. You don't want to put any acids in there. Anytime you put an acid on top of an acid, guess what? And that's just what chemotherapy is. Acid on top of acid. That's a crime, baby. That is a crime. And you wouldn't like somebody putting acid on top of your ulcer right now. You'd probably give them an old cocock. Oh, we didn't get any photos. This is M-E-E-C-H, Michiko. We didn't get any photos here, so she made note. There was no photos enclosed here. And let's talk about these here. Let's see. Thanks for your useful information. Oh, constant help and concern for us. You betcha. And I do, generally speaking, because I'm looking at myself when I look at you guys. I mean, we're all part of the same thing. When I look at you, I'm seeing God. When you look at everything, see God in everything, and then your whole life will change, and you'll start loving things instead of opinionating and you know, talking bad about things. You understand we're all trying to learn and grow and get ourselves well and healthy in a world of unconsciousness. So we just become conscious. Absolutely. I'm a 26-year-old female from Uruguay. Oh my God, that's cool stuff. And I suffer from chronic anxiety, depression, insomnia. Oh my God, honey. You got them all. Oh my God. And constipation. I can only manage to go to the toilet by doing enemas. Oh my God. Okay, this is an important case because look. All right, so let's go to the anxiety. She has chronic anxiety. That means her adrenal glands are chronically down, right? Well, now what does the adrenal, what's one big system that your adrenal glands control? That controls peristalsis, the autonomic nervous system, absolutely. And so she can't poop because her adrenals are down. Now, she's also down up here. So she can be down in both the parasympathetic, sympathetic. She's down in she's insomnia, that's a pineal gland. Depression, she's down with her what? Parathyroid gland. So she's got to be probably down a little with her thyroid gland as well. And it might be a big old pituitary sitting there going, nah, I'm not feeling too good today. So this is something you'd want to look at, sweetheart, is your pituitary. How tall are you? You want to look at these things. When did you start your monthly cycles? Are they on time every time? Are you short, tall, normal? Where are we in all these things? Because chronic anxiety, adrenals, depression, parathyroid, insomnia, pineal gland. So you've got 3 major glands down and your nervous system down because you can't poop. So you want to enhance those adrenal glands. I myself, I'm jumping on a glandular and I'm jumping on 400 milligrams and I'm doing 1-3 times a day. I'm going to take a look at this pituitary. So first I'm going to go on the parathyroid formula. I'm going to go on that parathyroid formula 1-3 times a day. I'll probably only do 2 bottles to start, but then I'm going to probably give me a superfood blend to give me all that extra calcium and start fixing that sort of thing. I'm going to give me a pineal gland too while I'm doing this, while I can rest and get my energy built up so I can be strong to detoxify and win this game. And I want to get my bowels moving. And I don't want to use enemas. So get our number 5 or 4 and start using it. It's not a laxative yet, and so you'll be able to come down, down, down as you reinstate peristalsis. I'm going after the kidneys. I'm going after the lymph system because I know that's what system's down. Also, and of course the adrenals sit right on the kidneys, so obviously, so I'm going that route as well. Now I'm going to go upper circuit, brain and nerve. I'm going to use that on your case all the time because upper circuit is going to turn blood up and oxygenate the blood up into the brain and the pineal gland, the pituitary. I'm going to turn on everything with blood and I'm going to start cleaning everything with lymph. But I'm going to also enhance that nervous system. That way I can, with brain and nerve too, I can enhance autonomic and central nervous systems. So I'm going to turn on your nervous system. At the same time, I'm going to turn on the gland that turns up the neurotransmitters. See where I'm going? I'm going to turn you on. And you got to. You got to turn on your nervous. You're going to go down. The depression and everything is just going down. Your glands are going down. But you're 26 years old. And as I've said this before, you younger adults here and children, you guys got some serious adrenals and kidneys. And that leads to all these things that you're talking about here. Oh my God, I have been feeling this way for 2 years now, and I can't take it anymore. Thank you. This is horrible. I'm desperate. I used to be happy, skinny girl, shiny girl, and now I don't enjoy none of the things I used to love. I have severe memory problems, weird sensations inside my head, lower back pain. All right, that's what I'm saying. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve, my dear one. The lower back's your kidneys. You're going to fix that for fixing your kidneys and your adrenals, which then will turn on your lymph system, start hydrating and moving your lymph system, which will then pull all the inflammation out of the head. Then as your brain and nerve starts rebuilding in the upper circuit, you'll start empowering the neurons up there. Everything will start turning on again. And with your adrenals, you're turning on the autonomic, so the autonomic then will start turning on peristalsis and all this. Getting that parathyroid up will pull yourself out of depression. You'll start getting all your connective tissue and bones rebuilt. You see where I'm going? And then you can come off the glandulars if you want. I am currently taking medication for anxiety. Hit your adrenals. Hit 400 milligrams of a glandular. I would. You don't like a Klonopin. For insomnia, I would use a glandular instead of using pharmaceuticals for these. I really would. If you've been on these real long, go titrate off of them. But you want to move yourself over to a glandular, because when someone says to me, they say, "Well, we don't want to go glandulars because they're an animal product." But then you take a pharmaceutical. Interesting. Now, I feel sleepy, tired, dizzy, and moody all day long. That means your cerebellum is involved, that dizziness. So that explains everything too, because that's the cerebellum, then you've got the head, then you've got your pineal, and you've da-da-da-da-da. I don't like anything you're saying, sweetheart. I don't like any of this either. So you've got to get your kidneys filtering and get this lymph moving out of here. Work on those neurolymphatic points down the back. When you feel a little lightheaded or dizzy, remember a cold ice pack to the head, because this is all inflammation, acidosis. And you want to jump to the alkaline side or the base side of chemistry to deal with this. All right, keep knocking you over, little pineapple. And get to some energy going up there. Get on your fruit, berry, and melon diet. I'd kill parasites too, just in case you have, because the chances of you having high candida is really there. I'm trying to steer off meat and dairy products as well. Boy, I'd be off of them like flies on doo-doo. And incorporating more raw foods into my diet. Why don't you just jump right in? You got enough going on here that doesn't sound good, honey. Just jump right on in. The water's fine. All raw is good. And it's energetic. And it's healing. And it's happy food. I'm having trouble making my family understand the implications of food in my recovery. Well, that's the sad part. But let them review these videos, because you know what you have to do. Where would cooked food come in here but just make you worse? Now, cooked food is devoid of all electromagnetic energy, or most of it. It's so low. I mean, consider the human at 6,500 angstroms and steamed vegetables at 1,000 to 1,200. Law of physics. Everything seeks a homeostasis, right? So not good, not good. If you want life and energy, then you have to eat it. You can't eat dead and then gripe because you don't have any energy. But this is worse than that. I'm not talking about it. You've got glands down all over the place. You got all this down. But it starts from the cooked, the dead, the milks and all this generations ago, and we're still doing it. Well, you guys are coming out of it. And you guys that are coming out of it are the precious ones. You guys are the ones. The chosen ones, so to speak, because this planet has to have some guidance. And those of you that are awakened to this and are using it and getting well are the chosen ones to help others to awaken, because we have some sleepers here on this planet, if you hadn't noticed. Well, it's not the way we talk outside of this world. But anyway, I'm having trouble making my family understand, since they tell me it's all in my head and there's nothing wrong with me. You know what? You don't have a family that, I don't know. I'll say this, your family sounds like more of a hindrance than someone that'll promote you and help you. And this is why I say we all have to get with this, because here's a girl that needs some love and support and someone to help her, especially her own family, to support her in her journey to Wellville. But we have so much ignorance on the planet that some people say, you can't eat raw food, it's bad for you. What? You can't have raw food because it's bad for you. I mean, there's a lot of ignorance here, and these souls just have to start wakening up because they're getting their butts kicked. And it's just like this poor lady here, they're not having any fun. You're down here, you get constipated, you get angry, you want to control others, you get narcissistic, everything gets out of control, and you start making big karma for yourself. And then you can't get out of here. These guys are making karma for themselves over in the Middle East like nobody's business. It'll be a long time for those souls to get out of there, or out of a situation that have to be this planet. There's plenty of other ones that are not have some serious places you go. And there are some serious places. If I just took those guys, some of these ISIS guys out of their body and just take them to some of the astral prisons, you immediately scream in horror. I was taken there, and all I can tell you, there's some places that are not good, but it's how it's maturing itself, you know, and it does it to itself. Amazing. Anyway, you need to, well, you got a family here you got a large family on the YouTube here that's support for you, honey. If your family don't, we'll support you, because you need to get your system right. If this all isn't in your head, chronic anxiety, that's not in your head. Depression, that's not in your head. Well, I mean, the parathyroid is. Insomnia, that's in your head. That's a pineal gland, that's in your head. Constipation, that's not in. I mean, it's just sad to see that we don't have support from our loved ones. Matter of fact, our loved ones need to start turning on what you're doing so they can get themselves well. They just don't know it yet. That can prove what is wrong in my system. Well, you're already telling you what's wrong. You're having these symptoms, and symptoms only come from certain tissues. That's easy. Any medical doctor, any naturopath should be able to give you when you tell them a symptom, they should tell you exactly where it's coming from and what's going on with it. If they can't do that, why do they have a degree on the wall, and why are they practicing with toxic chemicals? You know, it's just all location, location, location. There's only two sides of chemistry. There's the natural rhythm of the body and how it works. It's easy to understand that. I mean, some people are overthinking things. You're overthinking things. And that's what's happened with allopathy. They're overthinking things. And so now they got themselves smart. They don't understand anything. Pretty bad when you get too smart. And that's what happens. Too intellectualism loses your consciousness. Doesn't gain you wisdom, you lose it. See, it's the opposite of what people think. You can't find God through the mind. Never can you find God through the mind. You might think you do. You might find cosmic consciousness. Been there, done that one. You tell me if there are any standard medical tests that they tell me it's on that can prove that is wrong with my system. Well, oh my God. What can I do to get better? I'm willing to do whatever it takes, plus my government doesn't allow me to buy any kind of homeopathic medicine from abroad, so I must rely only on food and local herbs. Does your government allow you to buy herbs? Because we don't sell homeopathic tinctures, but we do sell herbs. See if your guy allows herbs to come in there, or our company contact the customs, or take your customs a copy of our brochures with the ingredients and our reputation and stuff, and see if they'll allow them in there. If not, you're going to have to hunt your own herbs and stuff in your country. But you're looking for just what we're talking about. How about glandulars? They're from New Zealand. Would they be allowed in there? Because with these chronic levels, you'll want to use some glandulars for the adrenals, for the parathyroid, and for the pineal, for temporarily at least. Help you pull yourself out of these symptoms so you can get more energy and happiness and feel like you can keep going with this. Yeah. I would truly appreciate any advice you could give me as my current. Absolutely love Irene. Hi, Irene. You know, sweetheart, that's what I'm saying. You definitely have the adrenals way down. The parathyroid is down. Insomnia is the pineal gland down. And that it also ties into your other symptoms where you have the dizziness and all this stuff like that. The lower back pain is standard stuff. That's kidney weakness. That would be your problem because your lymph is backed up your back. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned real tight shoulders and stuff like that, but that's all that this is. Use the neurolymphatic points, hot and cold compresses on the back. Get your kidneys filtering. But you got to hit after these glands. This is gland problems. The question is here, do you have a pituitary that's sitting down on everybody here? And you'll only see that in, again, judging your menses, judging your height, or most importantly, looking at your eyes. If you say, well, I don't know if I have a pituitary weakness or not, you can't hurt yourself by enhancing your pituitary a little bit with herbs. You can't hurt your body if you got it wrong. Oh, it wasn't your pituitary after all. Who cares? You're making it healthy. You see, it's not like pharmaceuticals that whoops. There's no whoops. Herbs just love them whether they're healthy or not. It's a good whoops. Well, I've got to run. I've got a lot more to come back and do here. I do have to go protect some of my, do some watering. I did a lot of watering. Yesterday I did some concrete work, put in some posts and building some fence, and that concrete, I hate that. But, nasty stuff. You breathe all that concrete dust. That's not a lot of fun because you know what it is, But anyway, love you guys a whole bunch. Have a great day. Have a great day. And claim it for yourself. You deserve it. Each and every one of you deserve to be happy. You have a right to be happy, and you have a right to know the truth. And you always demand those things because it's your world. Nobody's going to be walking your world but you. You might have a loved one that you're real close to, but you still walk at your own walk. And just take time by yourself to get with yourself and give yourself a pat on the back sometimes and give yourself a hug sometimes because you each deserve it. For those of you that are working your way back to Wellville, I'm proud of each and every one of you. So many of you have got your remedies and you're helping so many people. Have fun doing this. It's your right. And the sky is the limit. Actually, it's hard to tell you where the limit is. But I love you all. Namaste, Baraka Prashad. You all have a great, great day.